let's just go have a look. Hey guys, welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. I'm recovering from having some minor surgery this week, so Steve's been home for a few days manning the homestead ship and doing the homeschooling and everything, so that's been really helpful so that I can rest up, and it's been nice to be able to rest and do some reading and knitting and catching up on some videos of my favourite homesteaders, sew on a couple of buttons of clothes that have been sitting around for a while, and other bits and pieces. I just realised I need to check my pepper seeds. I did check them a couple of days ago, my pepper seeds that are germinating and the moist paper towels and bags in the hot water cupboard. I checked them a couple of days ago, sort of just peeked in a little bit, and there was one that had rooted, so I think I might need to enlist some help. Let's just go have a look. So it was 1 week ago that I put these into the hot water cupboard, and I checked, I don't know, a couple of days ago, I did have to sprinkle a little bit of water on one of them because it got a little bit dry looking. We're going to find out how well they all did now. Okay, Jimmy Nadello. Oh, this is soggy. Uh-oh. That's good, but I really need to, there's one or two that are going mouldy. Some got some really long roots, so I need to hurry up and get those planted. Most, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are rooted. Did I count that one? Plus one that's gone a bit mouldy that rooted. And then we've got shishito. Ooh. Okay, that's looking good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that have rooted. And Tollis. These ones are the old ones, and I can see some brown colour coming through, so some of them probably just gone bad. Let's have a look. Have any of them rooted? No. Actually, they are notoriously slow though as well, but it doesn't look like any of them have rooted. They can take more than a week to germinate, the Tollis red peppers. So I'll put them back for I'll put them back for a few more days, but what I'll do is actually start some of a newer packet because I'm not entirely convinced that any of these will germinate, so we'll start some newer ones. Okay, I need to fill up some seed trays. Actually, I thought I was going to need help, but I think I've got everything up here, up high that I can, so I can reach. I'm going to put the pepper seeds into these little seed trays. This is what I use to germinate most seeds, or if I was just doing the peppers straight into seed mix, I'd plant them in here. So I'm going to fill these with seed raising mix and then carefully put the little rooted seeds into there. Can I fit them all into one tray? What did I say? 8 of one and 11 of the other one. No, let's just do separate trays. And just firm it down gently to provide them a good base to root into. Oh, the chickens saw me coming out, so they have come out of the corner. Except for Anne Perkins. What are you doing by yourself? The giant chickens. Look, Trevor's getting into your town. Come on, Chicky.
Scarlet!
Too exciting. Also, they're drinking the dirty water. No, that is Let's tip that over. Okay, chickens are back in the corner and Steve is now having to bathe very muddy children. Okay, Pepper. This one's Jimmy. Or they were all in the corner. There's that one chicken who keeps getting out and just wandering off by herself in her own little world. I mean, I don't really mind that much if they're out a little, but they're not going to damage too much. But they poop everywhere, and we have children running around and rolling around on the lawn, so we don't really want them poopy and muddy. Okay, so here are our Jimmy Nardellos. So some of these have actually got a little bit of a kind of a long root, so some of these, like the ones with the longer root, I'll make a little depression just so that the root, let's start with the longest one, so that the root can actually get down in there. Oopsies, that wasn't a very good depression. We don't want to be shoving them down a big hole where they're going to get lost, buried, and not have enough energy to get out the top. Okay, let's get rid of the mouldy ones. And then at this point I can either put the rest of these back into the hot water cupboard to germinate for a little bit longer, or I can just plonk them in here, which is what I'm going to do. Whoops. Seeing as the best ones have got pretty sizable roots already, chances are the ones that are left are not going to be the best plants, but we'll just bung them in here just to give them one more chance. But generally the best plants are going to be the ones that germinate nice and fast and can grow a good long root without taking too long. Let's get those roots all covered down under. So I'm not actually burying the seed, I'm really just making sure that the root is covered. The little loopy bit at the top is actually the start of the stem, so I don't want to cover that completely because that's what's trying to come out, and these unrooted, ungerminated ones in the middle, I'm just going to push those down a little bit. Okay, so that's one lot. Ideally I would want to get them in before the roots get too long, but it is a bit tricky with peppers because they're one of the slower seeds to germinate. There are always going to be some that are slower than others, and especially with older ones too. So we got 8 rooted ones, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that haven't rooted. So just over half of them had rooted. The Jimmy Nardellos, 9 hadn't rooted and 10 had rooted. So similar kind of thing, just over half. And this is seed raising mix, so it's nice and fine and soft. I'm actually going to put these inside if I can find somewhere where they're not going to get disturbed, because it's still very cold outside. If I can put them on the windowsill where they're not going to get knocked off, that will be just right for them. I've just put them on the outside table on the deck for now while they're soaking up water. I filled up the tray with water, so they're soaking up the water from the bottom so they won't get disturbed. And once they've soaked that up and I can make sure the tray isn't leaking, then I'll bring them inside. Okay, so I got another packet of Tullis pepper seeds out, the next oldest ones, which are 2020. So because I've got plenty from other years, I just sowed all of those as well. So we've got a big load there, and we're going to fold those up, put them in the bag and see how they go. Alright, this is the biggest undertaking I've done since my procedure last week. I'm making bone broth, I should say, aside from homeschooling children, which is a big undertaking of a different kind. At least the kids helped me with peeling the carrots. We were down to the last jar of bone broth, so I needed to make some more for the others. I haven't been able to have it for a little while because of the onion and garlic in it. And so I really need some bone broth for myself, both for just taking daily as part of good healthy food, with a natural source of gelatin and lots of other good nutrients in there, and so I can use it as a base for making meals that I can eat, like soups and things. So I normally do 2 pots of bone broth at once, just the same. So this time I've done 1 pot for me without garlic and onion, which is sad, but I'm trying to come to grips with it. Instead, I've put in some grated ginger, fresh ginger, and some turmeric. Actually, I didn't measure. I probably should have measured, but oh well. So that should provide it with a little bit more flavour. So I'm actually curious to see how it turns out, especially with the ginger. So that's cooking away. So this is the normal bone broth. This is the normal bone broth. I need to pull out the chicken soon to get it off the bones. And this is my bone broth, which is, I don't know if you can tell, but the chicken's a little bit more yellow looking from the turmeric. And I'm making another green smoothie because that's just something I have daily now. And 2 or 3 times during the day I will finish that off. This particular one, the collards have been getting used quite a lot. So this one's got kale and some spinach beets, apple and avocado. We've run out of banana. While the bone broth was cooking, not too far into it this morning, we actually ran out of gas. So, fortunately, Steve just happened to be in the area, and so he came to our rescue and got more gas because we had 2 empty gas bottles sitting out there, which suddenly turned into 3. So he came and got 2 swapped out for new ones and saved the day and saved the broth. Alright guys, I'm going to check how my pepper seedlings are going. It's been 11 days now since the old Tollis seeds have been in there, and I can tell things are starting to go mouldy, and it's been 4 days for the newer Tollis seeds that I started in case the old ones go bad. These are the seeds, the first Tollis seeds I did that have been in there for 11 days. And I don't really want to look at them, but we've got to find out how they're doing. You can see the purplish colours on a couple of the seeds and brownish patches, and none of them have rooted. I think they're just too old. Okay, at least I can get rid of those now. I'm going to get rid of that bag as well. I'm not going to put anything into that bag that's had mouldy stuff in it. Okay, these ones have been in there for only 4 days.
Yes. Wait.
Oh, it's actually getting a tiny bit dry in some places. Uh-oh, this is not looking very promising either. Oh no, none of those have rooted yet, but it's only been 4 days and they still look okay. Tollis is notoriously slow. If these don't root, I'm not going to do more. I'm just going to stick with the Jimmy Nardello, because looking back at some of my videos, I actually really liked the flavour of the Jimmy Nardellos. Probably slightly better than the Tollis anyway, so we'll just keep an eye on these ones. We'll check them again in a couple of days and see how they're doing.